The biggest battle we will ever have to face is the battle between you and you. It's the battle of taking your mind to that limit and then breaking through. On the Mindful Experiment podcast, we will share concepts, universal laws, and interviewing individuals who have done just that, who have gone through the dark times and through those moments allowed their light to shine bright. I'm your host, Dr. Vic Manzo, and I want to thank you for listening to the podcast and taking this journey with me as we discover different avenues to break through those limits, expand your reality, and evolve into the person you desire to be. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Vic, and you're listening to The Mindful Experiment. Excited to have you on, excited to be here to share with you another episode of how to share this whole mind experiment. The mind, the start and the end of be all, right? The mind is where everything begins. It's where it ends. If you don't have, everyone says the attitude is the right, your attitude is the right, I'm forgetting the quote now. Your attitude is gratitude is the right attitude to create the next altitude. But attitude is what takes you to the next altitude, right? And everyone talks about attitude, but where does attitude come from? Where's the stem of it? How does it allow for that to happen? And it's from the mind. You have to shift your perspective to create a different attitude, a different, situation, scenario, and so forth. And what if I told you that you can create whatever reality you want, because whatever belief systems you have put energy into and you gave power to, they exist in your world, and the mind has to continue to prove that to you. That's how ego works. And so if you truly believe in something, then ego is going to have to show that to you, and it's going to make you be more aware. If you think I'm crazy, research reticular activating system and start learning about that, because that is what actually programs your mind to see things in certain ways, shapes, and forms. So do you really have the potential to transform your mind? Do you have really the potential, not your mind, your reality, and so forth? I kind of shared a post today on social media about that humans don't really understand the power of who we are. We don't understand the essence and the massive power that we have within. We're so powerful, it's unmeasurable. We cannot measure it. And the reason why I say that is because the mind and the capacity of what our mind can understand and comprehend, and the limitation of that, is not able to understand the power of who we are. It's the same thing like this. The mind cannot see what the spirit sees, the soul sees. It can't. It's very limited. That's why we have this whole experience called human being experience. We come here as souls because we limit the potential of who we are to have an individual experience. Not because in spiritual world, or the law of one, or law of Ra, we're all one. We're all encompassing. We're all interconnected. It's like the internet. We're all interconnected all the time, and you can't escape it. So we've created a reality as souls to have an individual experience to go through that. And, it's one of the things where this whole individual process, everything that you put power to creates your reality. If you see your reality in a certain way, it is created. It is law. It is spiritual law. It is quantum physics has proven that. The observer effect. Go Google that. Take a look. Research that. These are things that you dictate to create your reality, right? And so why do I want to share this today? If you've been following me the last few months, I've been really trying to share concepts and ideas and so forth. I've actually stopped interviews for a little bit on the podcast to really just get more of a message out there that I wanted to get out there to the world, to my people, to the tribe, to my community, to my subscribers, to the listeners, and all the people that have been listening to the podcast. I wanted to get this message out there and to really start to shape and shift and share with you, the power of who we really are as much as I can, and understand that, ever since this COVID thing started happening and the pandemic in the world, I started talking about fear. I started talking about how not to give in, because here's the thing. The moment you step into fear, the moment you allow for lower vibrational things to happen, lower vibrational energies, emotions, and things like that. And the more people that bind into fear, what ends up happening is you create more of a worse outcome. And I did a whole podcast on this. But here's what I wanted to talk about again and reinforce this thought, is that when you, the mind itself, when you dictate and see your reality, you start to create whatever that reality is. And whatever that vibration is that you're creating to rise up or rise down, depending on what you see it as, the more people that follow that circumstance rises up the ships or lowers the ships, and we create an experience together. We're all in this together. And what has, in the last 3 months, what really has hit home for me, and I'm doing a lot of things now to get stuff out there, is that we're all in this together. It's not about me, it's about us. It's about the whole process of us as a unity as a whole, as a human being experience, the humans ourselves, spiritually ourselves, and how this whole process of giving and sharing and giving to the world and helping the world is really massively, you make the change by helping yourself and seeing your own reality. For me as an individual, what I saw and how I see things is I saw the silver lining, right? I wrote a book called A Walk in the Dark. I mean, I even offered it for free last week on Kindle, and stay tuned because I am offering it at a discount. I'm going to see if Audible will let me go ahead and give it for free. If not, I'm going to give it at a massive discount because I just got approved that the book has finally been approved. It took 4 months for this one, but it's finally out there. The audiobook has done. It's released, and now I'm going to be putting a discount because why? I want to get this information out there. Why? Because again, A Walk in the Dark was a book I wrote in October. Never knew COVID was going to come. Never knew this pandemic was going to come. Never knew all these things were going to happen. And the people who've read my book, the people were sharing stories with me. They were reaching out to me. They're giving me messages and telling me how much it helped them in their life. And some have said how it had prepared them for this and how they got to see the silver lining and how it transformed their life. And when I heard the stories, I said, I got to get this out there more. I got to put a little bit more effort into this. I got to stop being, I don't want to say the word lazy, but I needed to step up my game in getting that out there to the world. And so I'm going to keep it tuned. I'll have it in the show notes for free or at a discount, whatever, Audible lets me do. I think I'm able to do it for free for a short period of time. So keep a lookout for that. But again, it's coming back to, as we choose our reality, I saw the silver lining in this. I saw that this was going to be great for humanity. I started to say that this is going to be a wake-up call. People are going to start shifting. We're going to start seeing changes, right? I kept saying that. I didn't get into the negative. I didn't get into the, oh, look at me, or I don't have a job now, and now I'm suffering financially, and XYZ. I wasn't getting into that story. You could choose that story. You can choose that reality. I didn't. And don't get me wrong. My business was affected by about 40% when it all first started. But I kept telling myself a different story. I kept telling myself that, no, we need to get out there and help the world. We need to help people through this stress time. Oh my goodness, this is an opportunity to allow people to truly grasp, from my chiropractic side, how to help individuals adapt, change, and respond to this so they don't have to be so negatively affected months down the road. And we shifted our whole gear. We got on the high horse as a team, and we started educating and empowering. We're doing this. We did the same thing for the mindful experiment. My other business, the mindful experiment, the podcast, but the power of reality and so much more. And we said we needed to create something to help individuals in this process to get through this. So we started sharing things. We started giving my book away for free. We started doing different programs. Right now, if you buy my book, A Walk in the Dark, I basically give it away for free. I'm not making money off this book. I'm also, on top of it though, for $4.99, you just pay the shipping for the book. And that's what it costs for me to get it over to you. Now, on top of that, I'm also giving you a 1 week free online course on mindfulness. It's just basic 5-6 videos that I share with you on different techniques that you can use, a guided meditation a couple times, some breath work, journaling, gratitude, things like that. And I also give you my ebook that I used to charge $4.99 for. I'm giving it away for free, The Power of Visualization. And so I'm giving all that to you, right? They'll be in the show notes because it's time to need to pull away and really understand the power of who we really are and get a grasp of that. In The Power of Visualization, I share a couple research articles and share stories with you on how the mind works, how the neuroscience works, and how you can really transform and shift. It's an easy read, guys. It's like 7 to 10 pages. It's not long. The whole point was just to get a direct message straight out to you. And I give you some action plans on how you can work on that. So I have different things that we're getting out there to help. But the thing is if I shifted my perspective and saw this as being a great thing for humanity, and let's say we had 5 million people do the same thing, or 10 million people do the same thing, do you think we'll have a different outcome as a whole in humanity down the road? Maybe, maybe not, right? Here's the rule, just to share a rule with you. There's a tipping point. And for some weird reason, don't ask why, we don't understand. I haven't read the science yet to understand this, but it's somewhere around 15%. When the population grasps something at 15%, After that point, it's like the tipping point. It's like the 100th monkey. And all of a sudden, they all start doing it. Right, we've seen this, and I've seen this in studies where birds started doing something, or monkeys, or I think it was not monkeys. I can't remember the land animal. It's a land animal, and they're on an island. They're all by themselves. If you remember this, please comment in the podcast so I can remember this. I'm gonna have to look this up afterwards. But what happened was they had no connection to the world yet, because majority were doing it. In their conscious level, they started doing it, and they had no connection with the world. And the reason is there's this conscious collective consciousness in humanity. And so imagine if we did 15%. Let's say the population's 8 billion. I'm a number guy, so understand that I like doing numbers. That's 1.2 billion people. 1.2 billion people. If they saw this as a silver lining, what would happen to the rest of humanity? It would shift us in a whole new era. It would shift us in a whole new world. And so the key thing is we are more powerful than you can ever imagine. And our influence, just being here in the world, is already enough. But yet, that's, I would say, like mediocre, right? Because we're just here and our presence already does enough. But how can we level up and do more? How can we help more? How can we do more? And the thing is, you got to work on yourself and see the reality of what you want to choose to see. You have to be very conscious. It's not easy. This is not something that you can just say, oh, cool, I'm going to choose my reality and that's it. You can't grasp this from an intellectual standpoint. And I'm waiting for the time where humans stop looking at things from an intellectual standpoint and start to tap into a more experiential and heart-centered standpoint. That's the substance that you stick with for the rest of your life. I'm not saying intellectual isn't important. It is. And it's crucial, but you have to get into the experiential. You have to get to the heart side. You have to get to that center part of the brain. In my book, A Walk in the Dark, I talk a lot about this. I get into right, left brain. And the thing is that you want to make sure that you can get into the experiential side so it can really create a transformation to really allow you to choose then. And know that you are choosing your reality. You are choosing what you pay attention to. You're choosing. And it all starts with the mind. You choose what you allow in, what you accept. And what you accept is what starts the triggering effect, right? And the more you go down that path, the more if you're hardwiring and you're manifesting and you're creating that blueprint and that guideline to create that reality for your life. And it's just a matter of time. Because unfortunately, we live in a time-space continuum, which means you need time and space to go through to create or experience what it is you decided. That's why nothing happens instantaneously. And I am so blessed and happy that, or not, I'm blessed, we all are, but I'm so happy that we have a time and space that we have to go through. Because imagine if you had a negative thought. Let's say you get in an argument with someone and all of a sudden you have a negative thought fire in and you don't say it, but you think it really strongly and you put a lot of energy behind it. What happens, right? Imagine if that happens instantaneously. That wouldn't be a good thing. I know I would not want that. So I'm happy there's a little bit of a time here in space so I can really think things through of what I really want and be like, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I shouldn't think those thoughts. So these are things that can help. And I hope this helps you guys. I hope this really does. And take advantage. Like I said, I'm sharing a lot of things right now because I really feel compelled to get this information out there. I really feel compelled to get these things out to the world. Hence, I have a podcast. This is why I do that. Its main purpose is for that and to share concepts, ideas, and help just make a shift in the world any way, shape, and form that I can. But more importantly, now I'm looking at the content and the tools that I have and things I've created and saying, you know what, this is a need for this, and I want to get that out there. So again, like I said, there's a couple things. Number one, you can get my book, paperback copy, if it's in the United States only. This is the only way I can do this. You basically get the book for free. You pay for the shipping. I autograph it and I send it off to you. You will also get 2 online bonuses with that. That's going to be my ebook, A Power of Visualization, and a 1 week to mindfulness. You get all that with the book, guys. Trust me, I am not making money off that. Again, I say that because it's not for show. It's just to let you know how I'm trying to show how genuine I am about wanting to really stand behind my word. So get a copy of that stuff, and if you do me a favor, share a link on or share a review on Amazon or wherever you buy books and so forth. That it really helps get the word out there to let people see this more, so we can get that message out there. Okay. That's pretty much all I have. So any questions you have, let me know. Any topics you want me to cover, let me know. Any struggles you may want me, I can talk about on the podcast. Right now, I have some interviews setting up in mid-July that I'll be launching at the end of the month. But right now, for the rest of July, for the most part, I'm going to be sharing about 1 to 2 podcasts a week, really getting information out there. And I've been, I'm communicating with people and to see what is needed and to really help with that process. Last but not least, I do have a coach. I do one-on-one coaching. Right now, I've opened up 3 spots spots. If you're interested in coaching, if you're looking for a transformation in your life, you can be a business owner. You don't have to be a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it may be. I work on building and creating the life that you desire. I use principles in the ebook called The Power of Visualization. I use principles in my other books, Rediscover Your Greatness, A Walk in the Dark. But the main concept is you dictating your life, what you want to create, and we build the floor plan to help you do that, maintain that, but more importantly, keep your energy centered so you can create the most powerful version of you by keeping your vibration as high as possible. If that sounds like something you're interested in, check out the show notes and get connected. I only ask for serious inquirers because I do spend time, and I take this very seriously. There's a lot of people that I've been working with. We've gotten some massive transformations. As I said, my vision was the silver lining of all this is to help make massive transformation for people. And all the clients I'm working with right now have gotten that. And they're going through stuff, maybe impersonally, but they're also growing business-wise and so much more. And the key thing is because my vision, and then also they were incorporating with that vision and we made an agreement to make that happen, and we are. So if this sounds right to you, get connected, check out the show notes. Let's have a chat. Let's see how I can help. Appreciate you guys as always. Until next time, keep rocking and rolling. Thank you for listening to the podcast. For past shows, please visit www.empoweryourreality.com. I hope this show inspired you and added to your life to help you on the journey to rediscover who you really are. To connect with us on Facebook, please visit www.facebook.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. Check us out on Twitter. The handle is Dr. Vic21. Follow us on Instagram, www.instagram.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. If you were inspired by the podcast, pay it forward by sharing it with someone who you know can benefit from it. Thank you again for listening to the Mindful Experiment podcast, sharing paths to help you rediscover your infinite potential.